Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be looking at the best positive impact for the 5 gears in the game, looking at what gears you should be putting on what brawlers and what's the best value out of them. So before we jump into today's video, make sure you're using the creator code in this shop. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, so going into the first game, so we're going to be looking at the speed gear in this first one. So it was really confusing in the intro. I couldn't really get the wordings right. So basically, I'm going to be trying to explain like the best gears for certain brawlers, what are going to be like your best values. So I picked out like 5 or 6 brawlers for the speed gear. So I think a lot of these are kind of obvious to you guys, especially considering speed gear is like one of the best gears in the game. It's going to positively impact basically like every single brawler in the game, especially on the grassy maps. But there's a few brawlers in particular which I think are going to be by far the best value. So number one for me, it has to be Rosa. Rosa is just so insane on a bunch of grassy maps. I can think of like Gem Fort, Sneaky Fields. She's just so strong. If you have that maxed out speed gear, she's just going to be like near enough impossible to deal with it. You can literally pick so many counters to her and she's still going to absolutely destroy you. So there's other brawlers as well, the 3 generic kind of brawlers that a lot of people go in Gem Grab and Brawl, the likes of Tara, Sandy and Ems. They're all going to be insane with this speed gear. Definitely going to want to put the speed gear on those guys. They're going to be absolutely insane with that. And then I actually got one that you guys might not completely agree with because he's already like one of the fastest brawlers in the game. I feel like Crow is absolutely crazy strong with his speed gear. I'm seeing him right now in scrims on maps like Double Swoosh, and he's just absolutely insane. It's so hard to deal with a really good Crow. He can just whiz in and out. He's already so fast, but with that speed gear, it's just even more impossible to deal with. And right now, especially considering the fact that his gadget kind of counters the speed gear himself, I just feel like he's a monster. He definitely needs that speed gear and just everything about him. He's so strong. So those are like 5 brawlers which I think you should be putting the speed gear on. Let's hop into the next gear. All right, guys, so now jumping onto the next gear, we have the damage gear. So there's quite a lot of brawlers that benefit off of this damage gear. I feel like it's a really underrated gear in my opinion. I think it could be one of the strongest ones, especially on the non-grassy maps. So there's a few brawlers which I think benefit off this gear the most. One of the brawlers being Lola. So I feel like Lola with the star power that increases her damage by 30% when she only has 1 ammo remaining, it's just absolutely insane. I forgot what it's actually called. And then with the damage gear as well, it just leads to so much damage, as well as a clone. It just, yeah, like I said, it's just damage upon damage upon damage. It's just such a strong build. Definitely would be trying to build this if I were you guys. It's just so hard for the enemy to deal with, especially if you've got this, as I said, like the star power, the gear and the super. It just leads to absolutely annihilating the enemy team. And then there's a few more other brawlers as well that are going to be really strong. The obvious choice is going to be Byron. Byron's just going to be able to get double value out of the damage gear. He's going to be able to heal you up more and also deal more damage to the enemies as well. And he's easily one of the best brawlers in the Power League right now. He's so strong. He's completely dominating in scrims, which to me just one of the main reasons is because of that damage gear. Is just able to get that double value, and that's why he's so strong in this meta. So another few brawlers as well. I feel like tanks are so good with the damage gear. There's a few in particular which I think are going to benefit out the most. I feel like Frank, just because of how much HP he has, he just has such a high threshold in the damage, so he can just get so much value out of his gear, because for the most part he probably is going to be below about 50% in my opinion. So you're going to get so much insane value out of him with that damage gear. Again, I've got the likes of Primo and other high HP brawlers that are going to benefit the most out of damage gear. And then I've also got the likes of Meg. Meg's going to be absolutely insane with damage gear, especially in her mech form when she gets below that 50% HP. I feel like a lot of time you're actually around that below 50% HP in her mech. So getting that damage gear in that mech is going to be absolutely insane. I definitely feel like that's one of the ones you got to try and focus towards the most. I see that a lot in Power League. It's just so painful dealing with a Meg with that damage gear. It's already hard enough killing her because of how much HP she has, but with that additional damage, it's just really painful. And then the last brawler I've got is Piper. So Piper, obviously a really high damage dealer when she goes below 50% HP, and then she's got like the ambush star power. It just deals so much damage to you. It's just hard to really do anything against a Piper that can hit those shots consistently with ambush, with damage gear. It just makes for an ultimate build. So those are going to be like the 5 best brawlers for the damage gear. Let's hop into the next gear. All right, guys, so now moving on to the next gear, we have Shield. So Shield, I feel like is a little bit obvious in terms of the fact that you can really think of like the squishier brawlers. They're going to benefit out of the Shield the most, but I feel like there's a few brawlers in particular which are really going to benefit. So I feel like Edgar is a big one. So Edgar can really struggle upon landing, especially in 3v3 modes. It's just, he doesn't really have have a lot of HP, and it can be quite hard to recharge his super again. So the shield upon his first jump is really going to help him in a lot of gunfights. Unfortunately, Jackie with Counter Crusher with the damage gear probably isn't the best option to jump on, but for like a lot of gunfights, that extra shield upon landing is going to really help him. There's obviously a few more brawlers that are really going to help. The likes of a Byron is going to be a really good one for shield because he's super squishy. One of the main reasons why he gets countered a little bit too easily sometimes. So yeah, that shield gear really going to help him out. There's also the likes of Meg, one of the lowest HP brawlers in the game, and that shield gear is going to actually help her in her mech form as well. So the double of value there is going to be insane. And then a few other brawlers as well. Got the likes of Tick, he's really squishy as well, and then the likes of Spike. So I'm just looking down at my list here because it's kind of hard to memorize all of the brawlers for so many different gears. But yeah, those are going to be the best ones for sure. So unfortunately, he's able to just TP out. And for me, in 3v3 modes, it's just so easy to get pinched out as an Edgar. Maybe in like duels and showdown, Edgar's going to be really strong in, but definitely in 3v3 modes, really struggling with an Edgar. And I won't really say he's like unusable, but there's a few maps in Power League that he's actually really going to dominate on. I've seen him playing really well in Split, Pit Stop, for example. You know, there's a few maps you can use Edgar in, but it's still pretty weak. And well, at least the shield gear, you're able to at least do something upon impact, especially once you get that fully charged. But the main thing is it's only really good upon respawn because it kind of takes a while for that shield to fully regen. So Jackie is one shot. I'm just going to jump on her. I know it's going to waste my jump. I'm going to pop a gadget again. I kind of need to just get her out of that position so we can then push up. But for me, let me know what your ranking of the gears in terms of the strongness in the comment section below. But interested to hear how strong you think each gear is. Honestly, my kind of opinion kind of changes from time to time. I still feel like speed is the strongest one. I'd actually say damage is the second strongest, and then the shield one, only because it takes such a long time to regen the shield gear, and it's only really good upon respawn. As I said, like a lot of the times you're actually not going to be able to like heal up fully to get the full value out of a shield, but it can still be pretty strong, especially upon respawn. So that's going to be the best brawlers for the shield gear. Let's hop into the next gear. Alright guys, so now going into the dreaded last two gears, which are pointless on most brawlers, so it's really hard for me to create a top 5 brawlers for the resistance gear. But I feel like, again, it's a little bit obvious as to which brawlers probably get the most value out of resistance. I feel like Frank is probably the brawler that gets the most value, mainly if you're going up against enemy Franks as well. It can really help. Other than that, don't really see too much value with that resistance gear. There's Frank, there's like Buzz as well. You know, if you're looking for those assassin brawlers, Mortis as well, they're probably going to be ones that benefit out of the most. And also Ash and Primo. So yeah, I think literally all the brawlers that I put on my best like brawlers for the resistance gear are all tanks or assassins. So that's probably the only value getting out resistance. Let me know down in the comment section below whether you think there was any that I missed. You can see I've got a little bit of a reduced stun there from my resistance gear, which probably, well, definitely didn't really help me in my aim to score here, but still I'm hoping it's gonna get some sort of rework. We've seen in the video that I did a few days ago about which kind of things should be reworked in Brawl Stars, and you saw about Frank's tweet saying that it's more than likely it will come with the next major update, but I'm really interested to see what they do. I thought of a quick idea before I went into the game. I don't think it's probably going to be a good idea, but imagine like increased stun duration for some brawlers. That would be pretty insane. But yeah, I just don't think it's really got a place in Brawl Stars. Resistance gear just pretty much useless unless I somehow missed out something. Let me know if I did miss out something, but yeah, for me, really useless. So that's going to be resistance. Let's hop into health. All right guys, so jumping into the final gear, we have health. So health is pretty much useless on every single brawler, especially the fact that it only gives you 200 HP at max level. With that gear, it's just really bad. But there are a few brawlers that maybe if you have like a few health gears that you just want to put on some brawlers, so at least they're a little bit better. The likes of the throwers, so the throwers are going to get the most help out of the health gear, in my opinion, and especially the squishy one. So Tick's going to be pretty good because he's really squishy. 200 health is going to be a lot of his HP in the game, if you get what I mean. Like 200 HP a second isn't really going to do anything to like a Frank or some of the high HP people. So the lower HP brawlers are probably going to benefit out of health the most, and also brawlers that are going to be stationary the longest. So those are going to be brawlers like the throwers, so they're going to be standing behind a wall quite a lot. So maybe if they're standing still and shooting, they might be able to get actually some benefit out of health. And then probably the best one, which of course I feel like everyone knows already, is the Nanny build. So the Nanny with the shield star power, with the health. It's going to be quite fun to use. I don't actually think it's as strong as people think, because especially because people can just cancel her super or just feed their super out of her super. So I feel like it can be fun, but it's actually not that strong. So yeah, there's not really a single brawler in the game where if I was to have all 5 gears available, where health would actually be one that I would pick. I don't think I've seen any pro actually pick the health gear inside of competitive right now. Maybe in Power League, again, if like they've just got some spare health gears to use, but still I just don't ever use it. So I'm just constantly moving around in Brawl Stars. I think it just defeats the purpose of the health gear. I think we just need to completely remove that element of it, because again, I don't feel like in any games in Brawl Stars, like I'm constantly on the move. You're watching pro games, you're watching well, just playing the game yourself. You don't actually like stand around for long, and if you stand around for long, you're gonna get punished for it. You know, you're gonna have an aggro brawler in your face. There's just gonna be something that's able to counter you standing still. So maybe here I'll put stand still a little bit. I'm gonna regain my health quite a bit faster, because with the tick it's gonna really help, but still not gonna be the strongest. So yeah, I mean, probably more than likely not gonna win this game. I also feel like on the topic of tick, I think I spoke about this a little bit in Power League, but that tick is actually really overrated in Bounty right now. Whenever I seem to use him or have a tick on my team, I feel like I just get overwhelmed a little bit too much. So the gear's really not helping tick out right now. It's not really benefiting off of this meta. Going into overtime, yeah, there's just nothing I can do. A poor little tick's just getting absolutely destroyed by all the aggro brawlers. It's just like, it's like feeding time. For these guys. These are just completely destroying me. So that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think of my list of all the best brawlers for each gear. Of course, again, I might be wrong in a few of them, so yeah, let me know down in the comment section below. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.